Viewers, you're watching the Explosive Exclusive with me and Navika Kumar, and it's all happening today. Yes, any day today, in the next 2 or 3, perhaps you will have the Supreme Court hearing, but there has been a lot of forward momentum in this story today, Navika. Not only have individuals who are close to Sushant Singh Rajput and those who are advocating justice for him being threatened, and they've come out and made those disclosures, and in fact they will be speaking to us, but we're also getting evidence of WhatsApp communications between Sushant Singh Rajput and some of his closest aides, which clearly indicate that this man was wanting to live on, was also expecting big things to happen.
That's right. In fact, on one hand, you see a sabotage angle. On the other hand, you see strange people present in the room when the police is first doing the panchnama. And now there are chats that have emerged. And Rahul, what's most disconcerting is there are one group of people who say Disha and Sushant didn't really know each other very well. So their suicides or their alleged unnatural deaths have no connection. On the other hand, you see chats that have now come into our possession, and we'll take our viewers through those chats, because those chats really show that the two have professional relationships, and the theory of Disha probably reaching out to Sushant can't be just ruled out. Now, what were the circumstances, whether she had made an SOS calls or not, the call detail records in the hands of the Mumbai police not being shared with other agencies. All of these issues continue to plague the entire investigation. But for the moment, we need to go to those WhatsApp chats, and if we can have those on the LED screen, and if we can just go across to those chats, and these are chats which relate to April.
Yes.
And in April, Disha and Sushant were certainly in touch discussing professional issues. And Disha is somebody, excuse me, who came from an agency who was in touch with Sushant, and they had a lot of discussions on their mutual interests in the film world, in the kind of work they were doing, in the kind of talent search that was happening, that Disha would do. All of these chats coming out now, and I just wonder, Rahul, and doesn't it cross your mind, because many people close to Sushant actually went out and said that Disha had no connection and she had been replaced only for a day or two, and Shruti was the real person.
Absolutely. I think, there is definitely been an attempt at misinformation. Now, Navika, we've been putting out visuals also, and we'll put them out on the right of your screens, where a mystery female enters the building where the, very suspicious death of Sushant Singh Rajput took place. Those are the pictures there. You can see the mystery girl enters the building. That's video 4. Then she confers with the police officials. Many people are now saying that she might have been given, some things from the flat. Remember,
some people have alleged that this lady is somebody called Jamila, has her origins in Kolkata. She's a friend of Shovik, the brother of Riya Chakravarti. We don't quite know that, but these are theories that are doing the rounds. The fact of the matter is that she was present on 14 June at the Mobla building where Sushant
had unauthorized
was living.
access from what is apparent in the visuals. We are being told that she was kept out, but some other people have come and said that she had managed to enter. Then there is another individual who walks out with what appears to be a bag. Then you can see the same, there you can see more.
The black t-shirt guy, the black t-shirt guy there has a bag in his hand.
Yeah, and that bag disappears from the top of the bed. You see that? You see there's a bag there on the bed, and afterwards the bag disappears. What was in that bag? Who took it? There are many questions. So it's not just now anymore about people.
And there is the black t-shirt man accompanying the mortal remains of Sushant. Who is he? How did he find his access not only into the building, into the Sushant's flat, but also into the room where Sushant was found? Why did he go there? Why did he pick up that bag? What was in the bag? Was it a laptop? Was it a computer? Was it some other medication? We don't quite know.
We don't know because, we've always been we've been talking about the tampering of evidence at that crime scene. Now, this has been pretty well established that obviously the crime scene wasn't the way it was when, Sushant was discovered. So someone wanted to get in there first, Navika.
And remove something from there.
Things,
or
diaries.
move something from there, take it away from the room of Sushant.
You interviewed
maybe
Pithani,
outside.
and he was full of contradictions about what he saw. No photograph taken of the body hanging, photograph only
Which
taken.
was very strange. Very strange that for 2 hours, Siddharth Pithani waited to open the door. When the key maker comes, he gets the key maker to open the door, but then leaves the key maker out before he comes and opens the door.
Escorts him out to the house.
And when he enters the room and sees a body hanging from there, he actually goes and cuts the cloth with
Allegedly.
which it is hanged.
Because many people say it was not even the cloth. I mean, there are all these...
There are all theories because many people are even questioning that the marks on Sushant's neck,
the ligature marks, yes.
were not actually cloth marks at all, and they seemed like something of a belt or something like a leash of a dog. We don't know. Several theories, several questions have come up.
63 days into this unfortunate death. And can you imagine, Navika, you and I are still talking about what was actually at the crime scene because no one knows. The forensic people who collect the forensic evidence came 50 hours after the body was discovered, were not allowed inside. The flat was mysteriously handed back over to the individual who is the landlord. I mean, there's been no sanctity at all.
Absolutely. No sanctity of evidence collection, no sanctity of the time of death, because that's what Vikas Singh, the family lawyer, has said, that even the time of death has not been mentioned. The manner in which...
And the reports have not been handed to the magistrate.
And Rahul, the reports are not even being handed over to other federal agencies like the Enforcement Directorate. Forget jurisdiction problems between Bihar and Maharashtra, but Enforcement Directorate is a federal agency. Even they are not being given the
Mumbai
digital
police
dumps.
hands the telephones and other digital records, data, which is very, very vital to a case like this, only 24 days after the death. I mean, this has been a joke, viewers. It's been a joke. Anyone in a more serious capacity would have sued the Mumbai police for the manner in which...
But ministers in the Maharashtra government say, what's the big deal?
Yes, what's
the big deal?
Yeah.
A man goes, he's found dead in unnatural circumstances. There is absolutely no scientific evidence collection that is being done. There is no questioning. There is no looking at the digital data. There is no looking at anything remotely which can tell us or solve the secret on whether this was an alleged suicide or possibly a murder. But everything is going well for the Mumbai police and the Maharashtra government.
Absolutely.
Clearly shows that we have been able to do far more investigations than the Mumbai police has. But let me just now go across to these WhatsApp chats that we have collected, and this WhatsApp chat is from April 2020. It says we could use this only, whichever you're comfortable with. We could use this Sidhu's phone, just make him understand everything is too much for me to grapple with. What is too much for who to grapple with? Why is Sidhu's phone being used to create chats? And then this is SSR. We will use Sidhu's phone, just make him understand everything is too much for me to grapple with. Okay, cool, is the response that comes in. I'll speak with him. Disha, he is online. Hey, yes, it's connected to the server. The callers haven't started coming in yet. You could be on mute now. Whenever the callers will come, you will be able to hear saying hello. That time you could talk. Okay, we are on standby. Yes, perfect. You can chill till someone comes. Sidhu can let you know whenever they do. This is Sidhu. So they're probably doing a chat on an online system, and she's, probably his manager, and she's taking care of his PR. And this is the first chat. And then
this is the height of the lockdown, April.
Yes, and then then they say, I cut the call again. He was the same guy again. Okay, so they're discussing about some caller. Yeah, oh man, just formation remaining. I'm not connecting him again. I'll be online so that they can. They think he is okay. Shall I get this caller skipped? Thank you, Sushant. Hope it was okay. The callers now have reduced drastically. Thank you, Disha. It was eventually effortless. So this chat is actually about a PR drive they may have done. They may have taken online callers, and Disha and Sushant are discussing professionally with each other how this could have been done and how effortlessly this was done. Then again, 1 year ambassador for the brand with exclusiveness for the category, 1 day of shoot and half day of recording for a TV commercial, 3 digital posts in this year during festivals. Brand of edible oil had asked for Sushant's presence. Hi Sushant, hope you are well. Please let me know if I can quote 60 lakhs for this. Kindly advise. So in April, he was very much getting offers for television commercials, and that's what, and he was doing online chats with his fans. What's the name of the brand? They aren't able to disclose the brand name. We could quote and say subject to brand name and creatives. Yes, sure, please let me know is what Sushant tells Disha. Okay, cool, thank you. Hi Sushant. PUBG is doing a digital campaign where it wants to encourage people to come home, etc., etc. So, they're discussing online chats, they're discussing TV commercial
PUBG,
angles that are coming in.
PUBG is a famous
Chinese app.
Chinese app. So, Navika, look, on a daily basis, certain things are now beginning to fall into place. And correct me if I'm wrong. Number one, you have a situation where the incentive to perhaps commit suicide because your career is tough, as they would say in Bollywood circles, or prospects were dwindling, is getting very, very seriously challenged. Remember, there was this whole narrative, Navika, that was put out. Absolutely.
There is a narrative that calls mental illness the reason, no Bollywood work the reason, also saying that he was probably a little off his rocker. Here he's discussing, he's even taking online chats and he's connecting with his fans. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with him here. He's in touch with Disha, and that's another issue. Oh, Disha never knew Sushant Singh Rajput. She had come only one day when Shruti had fractured her leg or something. Was some statement coming in from people close to him. Why are these people trying to mislead everybody and put everybody off Disha's track? And if Disha and Sushant were in touch in April, chances are, and I'm asking you this.
Thursday.
Absolutely. And chances are, Rahul, if Disha looked like a professional chatting with another professional, both dying 5 days of each other, I don't know. Sounds very strange. Sounds very, very strange.
Yeah, well.
And Priyanka Tripathi got us access to these chats. Let's go across straight to Priyank Tripathi. Priyanka, what's the background of these chats? Disha not knowing Sushant Singh Rajput was one of the theories that was given. Doesn't this bust all of it, and doesn't it once again become a coincidence that Disha allegedly committed suicide on the 9th of June and Sushant on the 13th/14th of June, and now these chats show they were in touch and professionally chatting with each other?
Yeah, absolutely, Navika, and more than that, it also establishes that both of them wanted to live. They wanted to pursue their professional career, and both of them were thinking about what they have to do in the upcoming months. This was the period of lockdown when Disha and Sushant, both of them were chatting. But if you see, both of them are very lightly talking about how they have to pursue their career. But in between that Patani's character is also important, because Navika, remember, he used to change his statement very frequently whenever he spoke to you. And in this particular chat, the reference of Siddharth Patani has also been given by Sushant Singh Rajput, where he says that Siddharth would be communicating with you. So now it's very important to know that what sort of chat happened between Disha Salian and Siddharth Patani. Siddharth Patani, remember, he initially said that I was not aware about Disha Salian, but later to that, these chats and references clearly establishes that after these chats which happened in between Sushant and Disha Salian, there would have been further communication which would have happened from the cell phone of Siddharth Patani. So that clearly dismisses the theory of Mumbai police that Siddharth, Sushant Singh Rajput and Disha Salian, both of them were in contact for only 28 days. Navika, I have been listening to this theory from Maharashtra police since 4 to 5 days, that there was nothing in between Disha Salian or Sushant Singh Rajput. But one of the chat is talking about using another number which could have belonged to Siddharth Patani, and that number would have been used to contact Disha Salian. So whether the Mumbai police is also denying that. Siddharth Patani is a man who has been frequently changing his statement, so obviously he would have changed his statement. But the electronic evidence, Navika, which has been collected by the central agencies,
this is very interesting.
Come out with the fact.
This also shows that they were very frequently in touch. The 2nd, the 7th, the 10th and the 11th of April. In these chats, there are all these dates. It's almost, a period of 10 days where they are conversing, they're engaging. And a large number of people have been saying that Disha and Sushant barely ever spoke. She had just taken over his brief. She had been sidelined. She wasn't the person in charge really of managing him. But here it seems that she is actually fixing up a large number of commercial engagements, Priyank, which tells you that a large number of people who have been trying to create this distance between Disha and SSR, Sushant Singh Rajput, have actually been misleading.
Yes, indeed, Rahul, for the viewers, although Navika would be in a better position to go to that particular chat, where the Siddharth, Sushant Singh Rajput is talking about, let me give a few seconds. Sushant Singh Rajput has been talking about that how they will be using Siddharth Patani's mobile phone. So, Rahul, if you see that the claim of Maharashtra police that Sushant Singh Rajput and Disha Salian only spoke for 28 days, that is on the basis of the cell phone which was recovered from them. And certainly, Rahul, this also establishes that how is it possible that without giving this piece of information to the forensic lab, these chats are out. These chats clearly establishes, Rahul, that someone within the system is trying to play and tweak the information in their favor. But they have forgotten that one of the texts clearly establishes that Sushant Singh Rajput has been instructing Disha Salian that from now onwards we will be using the mobile phone of Siddharth Patani. And Siddharth Patani was online. This is also which has been mentioned. Siddharth Patani is online, so you can contact him. So from now onwards, from this particular date, those 28 days of time period which has been claimed by the Maharashtra police, there would have been another conversation, which would have happened in between Siddharth Patani, who was living right next to Sushant Singh Rajput, with Disha Salian. Who is going to deny this theory, Rahul, that there would have been a conversation in between these two individuals? We know that these chats clearly shows that there was a professional communication. But the theory of only 28 days, I am not going to accept that, Rahul, till the time the central agencies will be coming out with proper interrogation and proper detailed analysis of the dump data which they have taken.
Well, what's important, Rahul, is also the fact that there is a deal. In 2-3 days, Disha and Sushant are discussing 160 lakh TV commercial deal. They're also talking about putting some posts on PUBG. Yeah. And on that also, there is a 12 lakh rupees plus taxes that is being looked at. Also, there is a possibility of 1 day of shoot and a possibility of getting the brand for edible oil repeat its contract. So this is not a man who was running out of money, running out of offers. He was also in June itself talking to people like Ramesh Taurani and also Mr. Jaffrey. He had movies coming to him. He had proposals coming to him. So why was everybody else trying to make it look like he was going through a mental illness, had no friends, and was in no shape to speak to anybody, had no offers from films or anything. So life was looking extremely bleak for him. Let me get in Bhaptosh. And Bhaptosh, I want to ask you, in this entire matter, the Enforcement Directorate is now studying the digital data and the statements that have been taken from Riya Chakrabarti, her brother. Any information on what they could have zeroed in on right now?
Navika, the fact is that Enforcement Directorate has sent all the seized electronic items, including 2 mobile phones of Riya Chakrabarti and others, for forensic examination, primarily because they believe that certain chats, whether it's a WhatsApp chat or whether it's an SMS, they have been deleted. The period we are talking about is between May and June. Whether this was done inadvertently or this was done purposely will something that only the investigators know. But many WhatsApp chats as well as SMS have been deleted. Interestingly, Riya Chakrabarti, despite repeated reminders by the Enforcement Directorate, has not submitted all the documents that the agency was asking from her, and that could be the reason why her chartered accountant was again summoned today by the Enforcement Directorate. Ritesh Shah will be questioned for the 3rd time. Interestingly, another character who has not yet been questioned, Varun Mathur, has also been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. Varun Mathur, in fact, set up a company along with Sushant Singh Rajput in 2018, much before Riya Chakrabarti came in his life. And this company was called Insight. And this company, in fact, was dealing with artificial intelligence and also for helping underprivileged children. These characters, whether it's Varun Mathur or for that matter Ritesh Shah, were never questioned by the Mumbai police, and this raises a big question mark about an attempt being made to sabotage the entire probe. More importantly, as Priyank rightly said, was an attempt made to dress up the crime scene the day Sushant Singh Rajput died, because purposely photographs were leaked, and the entire attempt was made to somehow derail the entire investigation.
Absolutely, Navika, this becomes really, really worrying. And when you really look at this attempt to sabotage the probe, you have to begin to look at how this is being done systematically. So digital evidence not secured, the crime scene not secured, and now we are being told that the friends of Sushant Singh Rajput, who have been actively campaigning for justice, are being threatened. This is a reality. They are being threatened, and I want to go across to some of these well-meaning individuals who have been standing up and pushing for this campaign to get some sort of momentum. We are joined by Raena Kashyap Reddy, social worker from Chennai. Ms. Reddy, we are being told that you are being intimidated. Talk us through your intimidation. What's been happening?
Hi, Rahul. Thank you so much for having me on your show. This is something that the warriors of SSR are really, really proud of, our online movement. As you're aware, this is the very first time there's been a digital online movement of this sort because of the COVID problem. And, you know, one is normally afraid to go on the streets and to protest on the streets. But, you know, even on an online protest, there is so much of intimidation. There are threats to people. You know, we have women saying that they've been receiving rape threats. There have been bad language, Hindi words being used. And I received a message, and you know, I'm happy to share it with you, where this person says, "Cute, you know, how much have you been bought for by the BJP? That is the BJP paying you? What's your price? And are you for sale?"
And Raena, who is this message from? Do you recognize this message, Raena?
No, I have absolutely no idea who it is.
Have you reported it to the police?
But I just blocked it, and I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can. Very clearly. We can see it. In fact, it says, "Kitne mein बेचा खुद को बीजेपी आईटी सेल को कीमत क्या है तेरी बिकाऊ question mark." This is what it says from a person called Aniket. Shocking, absolutely shocking.
Correct.
This is.
Now, it's absolutely crazy. I blocked the message. But, you know, I would like to tell the viewers of Times Now that there are many things in life that are worth fighting for. And I believe, G.D. Krishnamurti once said that if you really love your children, if you truly care, then you would do. You don't have to be told what to do. You would automatically go out there and fight for what, with all your power, with all your might, for what you believe in, to be the best thing for your child. And I would like to implore everybody who's watching, there is so little for you to do today. You don't have to go out on the streets. You don't have to put yourself out there if you're worried. You just have to tweet, join our movement. Every tweet counts, and we can make it happen. There are a lot of people who believe that government corrupt hai, kuch nahi hone wala hai, Supreme Court ko paise denge. And I would like to tell everybody that there was a Nirbhaya movement where the people put themselves out there. They believed in their movement, and they brought down a government. A new party was formed, and a new government took over. And there have been so many changes since then. So you really just have to believe in yourself, and that you can make a change, because change is good, and there is no pain. There's no gain without pain. And please do join our movement, and don't think that what is one voice going to do. When I joined, we were just 1 or 2 tweets. Today we are at 2 million tweets a day, averaging 2 million tweets a day. And that's a big number to make you feel safe. And if somebody tweets something that you don't like, or something that upsets you or hurts you, please just delete it or block that person. But do join us. I have so many friends who are so worried. They say, nahi, tumhare piche aa jayenge, tumko off kar denge. And I was like, who are these people that you're so scared of? Why is Bollywood, the people who have the power, the people who have the money, the people who have fame, who have such a mass following, why are they so scared to speak? It is so sad. I mean, a person like me, we are ordinary people. We are so open to all the threats. You have security, and yet you don't speak up. What is it that you're so scared of? Why did MS Dhoni, who worked so closely with Sushant, who I think Sushant did MS Dhoni so proud, and it's so sad that MS Dhoni did not make a single tweet in support of the protest, or for Dil Bechara when it released, or for our candlelight protest, or even for our global press for Sushant. What are you so scared of? Why is it that our heroes have turned into zeros? Why is it that when heroes fall, when stars fall, it's the saddest thing that can happen.
Very pertinent point,
everybody needs a hero.
Raena Kashyap Reddy, very pertinent point. Many people who didn't know Sushant at all have come together to raise their voice to demand justice, but those who knew him have gone silent, and that is extremely surprising.
Yeah, I mean, what is worrying, Navika, are these threats. Ankit Acharya, Sushant Singh Rajput's former close aide, also joins us. Ankit ji, आपके साथ क्या हो रहा है? हमें सुना आपको भी धमकियां मिल रही हैं, थोड़ा हमें बताइए.
और कौन दे रहा है धमकियां?
Yes, sir.
अंकित जी बोलिए, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही, आप बोलिए खुल के बोलिए. आज
ये हाँ, मुझे धमकी दी जा रही थी. हाँ, मुझे धमकी दी जा रही थी 4 दिन पहले ही, मतलब 4 दिन पहले. एक मिनट को आवाज़ आ रहा.
अच्छा, आवाज़ वापस आ रही है, एको आ रही है आपको? एको
आप बोलिए, हम वो ठीक कर रहे हैं. आप बोलिए, आपको किसने धमकी दी?
यस मैडम, मुझे धमकी 4 दिन पहले मिली थी. एक मॉर्निंग को एक कॉल आया था, मालूम नहीं कौन से नंबर है, मुझे मालूम नहीं. आईफोन में रिकॉर्ड भी नहीं होता है. बट जब मैं फ़ोन उठाया तो अचानक से गाली देने स्टार्ट कर दिया, अचानक से। मतलब फिर अब वो बोले कि तुम्हें मार दूंगा, इतना विटनेस क्यों दे रहे हो, ये हैन तैन। मतलब मैं एकदम, मेरा ब्लैंक हो चुका था उस समय, मेरा एकदम हेड एकदम मतलब ब्लैंक हो चुका था, मुझे कुछ समझ ही में नहीं आ रहा था। तो उसके बाद मैंने उसको काट के मैंने मतलब ब्लॉक करके डिलीट कर दिया। और एक मैसेज आया था मुझे मैसेंजर में कि बोला इतना पब्लिसिटी मत बढ़ाओ, और ये सुशांत भाई को मरने के बाद उतना वो मत करो, विटनेस मत करो, ये है वगैरह वगैरह, धमकी दी जा रही थी मुझे।
और आपने किसी को बताया कि आपको ऐसे धमकी मिला है?
नहीं, मैंने तो मीडिया में खबर किया था, बट हुआ, मैं नाम नहीं लूँगा उनका। फिर मैं सोचा पुलिस में आके कंप्लेन करूँ, बट अभी तो ये अभी ऐसा सिचुएशन हो रहा है, अगर पुलिस के पास जाऊँ तो पुलिस के ऊपर मेरा हेड सलूट है, बट अगर एक पुलिस के कंप्लेन लिखाऊँ तो पुलिस पे भी विश्वास उठ चुका है मुझे।
That's important. He says पुलिस पर विश्वास उठ चुका है. Sunil Shukla also with us today. He is Sushant's gym friend. Sunil Shukla, बहुत से लोग जो सुशांत सिंह राजपूत को जानते भी नहीं थे, उनकी फैमिली को नहीं जानते थे, लेकिन आज ये सुसाइड थियोरी को चैलेंज कर रहे हैं और इकट्ठा हुए हैं, प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं और सीबीआई इन्वेस्टिगेशन डिमांड कर रहे हैं. आपको क्या लगता है, सुशांत सुसाइड कर सकता था? सुसाइड की थी उसने?
सुशांत ऐसा बंदा है जो पिक एंड चूज करके फिल्म लेता था. वो 3 साल उसने इंजीनियरिंग किया हुआ है और उसका ग्राफ ऊपर चल रहा है. सुसाइड कौन करता है? जिसका ग्राफ नीचे गिरता हो, जिसका उम्र हो गया हो, या घर में कलेश हो, या कोई लोन की लायबिलिटी में हो. He had enough money, he had enough film to sign, and this guy was one of the most intelligent guy in the industry. Sushant suicide नहीं कर. I'll tell you open. Second, I'll just expose what happened. लोग दिशा सालियन और सुशांत चीज को कनेक्ट जो कर रहे हैं, मैं इसमें खुलासा करता हूँ. सुशांत जी का कन्वर्सेशन जो दिशा से हो रहा था लगभग अप्रैल 11 तारीख तक हो रहा था. उसके बाद उन्होंने बोला कि हम पठानी के मोबाइल से हम इंटरेक्ट करेंगे. यानी कि जो भी लॉकडाउन जब हुआ था मार्च में और अप्रैल तक एक कमर्शियल बात हो रही थी, एक बिजनेस इक्वेशन की बात हो रही थी, टैक्स भरने की बात हो रही थी, यानी कि सेंस में बात करें. दूसरा, उसके बाद जितने भी कन्वर्सेशन हुए, एक तो है दिशा सालियन जो आज हमारे बीच नहीं है, उनके बीच में और पठानी के मोबाइल पे हो रहा था. व्हाट्सएप के द्वारा हो रहा था या चैट के द्वारा हो रहा था. तो यहाँ पे बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इन्वेस्टिगेशन क्या करना है, अगर सुशांत के बारे में समझना है कि एंड स्टेज पे क्या क्या हुआ, क्या क्या कन्वर्सेशन हो रहे थे, क्या कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस हो रहा था, या बातचीत क्या हो रही थी. दिशा सालियन का मोबाइल तो इन्होंने आज तक उसको फॉरेंसिक पे भेजना वगैरह तो दूर की बात, उन्होंने उसको सुसाइड घोषित कर दिया, वो तो बातचीत में होगी. तो एक उनके मोबाइल में डिटेल मिलेगा, दूसरा पठानी के मोबाइल पे मिलेगा. पुलिस यहाँ पे, मुंबई पुलिस जांच क्यों नहीं कर सकती, मैं इसका कारण बताता हूँ. अभी जितने लोगों को बुलाया गया है पुलिस स्टेशन में, पिक एंड चूज करके इन्होंने जो बुलाया स्वाद अनुसार, जो भी सेलिब्रिटी को बुलाया गया है, ये सब सेलिब्रिटियों ने मुंबई पुलिस की इवेंट, एनुअल पुलिस इवेंट होता है उमंग 2018 जो गोरेगांव में हुआ था, और उमंग 2019 जो बीकेसी में हुआ था. ये सेलिब्रिटी जितने लोग भी समन करके बुलाए गए या जो बुलाए जाएंगे, इन्होंने मुंबई पुलिस इवेंट में फ्री में परफॉर्म किया. मैंने आरटीआई मार के एप्लीकेशन करके मैंने डिटेल पूछा कि प्लीज the name of the celebrities are mentioned here, requesting you to give us the information whether this celebrity had been paid money by Mumbai police or they have performed free of charge. तो एक बात समझिए, उनका जो बोलना था कि सेंसिटिव इन्फॉर्मेशन हम नहीं दे सकते. हमने बोला आपको जो रिप्लाई देना दीजिए, बट अनऑफिशियली उन्होंने बताया कि मुंबई पुलिस से लोग कभी चार्ज नहीं कर सकते, मुंबई पुलिस ने इनको कभी पैसा नहीं दिया. यानी ये क्विड प्रो क्यू का मामला है कि मुंबई पुलिस ये निष्पक्ष जांच नहीं कर पाएगी. ये पर्टिकुलर केस, मैं बाकी केस की नहीं बात करता हूँ, जहाँ पे मुंबई पुलिस के लिए ये सेलिब्रिटी फ्री में परफॉर्म करते हैं. अगर उनको बुला के आपने एफआईआर नहीं नोट की, आप सिर्फ उनसे इंफॉर्मेशन ले रहे हो, तो मुंबई पुलिस निष्पक्ष जांच नहीं कर पाएगी. तो यहाँ पे मैंने गुहार लगाया हूँ सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, जो रिया चक्रवर्ती ने ट्रांसफर पिटीशन फाइल किया था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, जिसमें बिहार स्टेट को उन्होंने पार्टी बनाया था और महाराष्ट्र स्टेट ने केवट डाल दिया क्योंकि उनकी सुनवाई के बगैर ये केस का ऑर्डर नहीं आया। इसमें मैंने इंटरवेंशन एप्लीकेशन फाइल करके ये दर्शाया हूं कि मुंबई पुलिस के इवेंट में ये सेलिब्रिटी सब फ्री में परफॉर्म करते हैं और ये सेलिब्रिटी में से भी सामने आकर सुशांत के बारे में, उनकी हत्या या जो भी हुआ उसके बारे में इन्होंने कोई टिप्पणी नहीं किया, उन्होंने कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं दिया, तो मुंबई पुलिस निष्पक्ष जांच नहीं कर सकती। रिक्वेस्टिंग यू टू डायरेक्ट दिस केस टू सीबीआई। मैंने ये उसमें कंप्लेंट डाला हूँ। दूसरा चीज बताता हूँ, दिशा सालियन का अगर मोबाइल आज इनके पास नहीं है, बोलेंगे पुराना चीज हो गया, शायद वो मिले नहीं मिले मोबाइल, क्योंकि वो टाइम सुसाइड का एक लेबल लगा दिया था। आज अगर ये पठानी के मोबाइल ले लेती है और उसमें अगर खंगालती है और फॉरेंसिक्स में भेजती है, तो उनको दिशा सालियन और सुशांत, पठानी का मोबाइल नहीं बोलूंगा, कन्वर्जेशन सुशांत कर रहा था, उसमें से चैट सुशांत कर रहा था। तो सुशांत और दिशा के बीच में जितने कन्वर्जेशन हुए वो रिकॉर्डेड पे होंगे। तो मैं इसमें जरा भी नहीं बोलूंगा कि पठानी इसमें उसको क्लीन चिट मिले, वो भी एक इंक्वायरी के दायरे में आता है। मुंबई पुलिस ने अभी तक उसको बुलाया नहीं, ना उसका मोबाइल लिया गया है। तो ये जो केस है ये सुसाइड नहीं है, ये हकीकत में सुशांत का मर्डर हुआ है। तो अच्छा,
Raena Kashyap Reddy, very important points being made by Sunil Shukla.
Yes.
And I want to ask you, Raena Kashyap, you get threats. You've spoken here on Times Now. Not the Chennai police, not the Tamil Nadu police, not the Mumbai police. Nobody has contacted you to find out why you are getting these threats. These are online threats, and I'm sure there are cyber experts who would be looking at these online threats that are going to people who are fighting for justice for Sushant. And Sunil Shukla talks about the fact that phones have not been recovered, chats have not been looked at. Does this look to you that anybody in Mumbai police is really looking for justice in the Sushant case?
Like the Supreme Court said, if there has been no FIR filed, then what are you investigating? And I think that says it all. I don't think the Mumbai police was ever given direction to investigate. It's been on Twitter from day one कि मुंबई पुलिस ने इसको बुलाया, उसको बुलाया, चाय पिला के भिजवा दिया, you know. But the interesting thing is today, somebody is very worried because you can see the change on Twitter. There is very professional, expensive PR machinery at work. Every person who is of consequence on the protest, his ID is kind of copied to a very similar number or name. There is messages that are being sent. For example, the last 2 days there has been this message which has been very demotivating for our protesters. A judge has said that I am willing to have a press conference. I am willing to expose the person and even get contempt of court. I am willing to testify and say that 500 crores has been paid to a Supreme Court judge to do away with this case. Now, when this is on Twitter and it's got so many retweets and nobody knows whether this is real, I myself didn't know. And sorry to say, but in this corrupt world, it's very, very
So you're saying basically there are a large number of people that are putting out all sorts of
but this is slander.
messages,
This is
putting out
slander,
messages,
this is contempt.
Absolutely, messages that are actually copied onto existing individuals who are fighting this movement to try and at some level or the other ruin their credibility. Now this is very serious.
Yes, and
very serious. One
even
second.
change-
Raena Kashyap Reddy, 1 second.
Can you give us specifics?
So if we do
Would you
know
want to
that
go to the police with these specifics? Because this is obviously, to me, looks like criminal activity.
Yes, it is online. I mean, anybody
So
can
identity
see.
theft
And if you'd
is
like
happening.
to see the tweet, I can actually fish it out for you.
Okay, why don't we do that? We'll
And,
contact you. We'll have
and
our
the other
reporter
thing is
contact
that,
you,
you know,
Raena.
a little later
We will
in
take
the,
these messages from you, and then we will approach the
Okay.
police. And let's get this investigated, because this is quite shocking. Let's just go into also Rais, SSR's Ronavla farmhouse manager, Ganesh Hivarkar. But before that, Navika, I want to draw our attention to a WhatsApp conversation that took place, and we brought this out into the public domain at 9 in the morning today, viewers. Very interesting conversation between Sushant Singh Rajput and one of his very close friends. Now, Nizam Bhai, let's put that out there on the screens. There it is. Now, this is a conversation which is very, very critical, because this is between an individual who is known Sushant Singh Rajput for
Since his television days.
absolutely 15 years. It's not a fly-by-night friend. This is a very old friend who has been with Sushant since the early 20s. They've in fact started out together. They worked together. And this is a conversation. And if you look at the tone and tonality of this conversation, viewers, it's quite clear. And this is 1st June. This is not April, this is not even May, this is the 1st of June. This is about 14 days or 13 days to be precise before the untimely death of Sushant Singh Rajput. And here is an individual who's reminiscing about the old times, the golden period as they called it. They're having a bit of an exchange, and they're saying that, yes, I am raring to go, and we got to do it. So here there are two individuals. I want to find ways to continue with it, to push so that the golden period can come back to us and we can do greater things together. So here is a man, Navika, who's looking forward
Absolutely. We've seen
to
in his
working.
diary.
You see, I want to work on myself
he was putting down
spiritually,
his,
and I'm trying to grow.
milestones.
So here he is talking about spiritual growth, and this is exactly what he was talking about in the diary also.
Absolutely.
The spiritual side of things.
The spiritual
and wanting
side
to
of
grow.
things, the 2020 Hollywood launch, the education and environment films, the big production house that he wanted to set up, and the similar conversations with this director friend of his who had directed him in his first serial.
Yeah, this is 12 days before.
Yeah,
June 2nd, June 1st.
and they are having this conversation. Clearly, this is not somebody who was having any
Second
thoughts
house.
about
or at
a
least
suicide.
at least didn't think that he was hitting some sort of wall. One can understand professionally if you've hit a wall, you have no
But he was getting film
contracts coming in.
offers. He was getting film offers. He was
commercials.
getting commercials. He was all there, and he was
He was
even
on a
doing
roll.
online chats with his fans. So रईस साहब, लोनावला में आप उनका फार्म हाउस देखा करते थे. आप कब से सुशांत सिंह राजपूत को जानते थे?
जी, मैं सुशांत सर के पास में 20 सितंबर 2018 से उनको जानता हूँ.
और आप कब तक थे उनके साथ?
अभी तक था.
रिया
अभी भी हूँ उधर ही.
रिया के साथ आते थे सुशांत जी वहां लोनावला के फार्म हाउस पे?
जी आते थे, हमेशा आते थे. पिछले अप्रैल मंथ के बाद से आते हैं.
और दोनों के बीच में अच्छे से बातचीत होती थी?
हमेशा साथ में वो बोटिंग वगैरह करने जाते थे और पिकनिक भी मनाते थे. और एक पावना में जो एक पानी के बीचों बीच एक आइलैंड है, वहाँ पे वो लोग जाके वो पिकनिक वगैरह मनाते थे. जो सुबह मॉर्निंग में जब 8 बजे जाते तो वही रात में आते थे.
और भी कोई होता था कि खाली रिया और सुशांत जाते थे?
जब अप्रैल मंथ से जब रिया मैम आना चालू हुआ, मतलब जब उनके लाइफ में सुशांत सर के लाइफ में आई थी, तो उस वक्त एक नया टीम था जो हिमांशु और एक आयुष करके, और एक लेडी थी, एक आकांक्षा, और उसके साथ में एक और एक लेडी थी, ये आनंदी नाम था उनका, और सिद्धार्थ पिठानी. जब सैम जब ज्वाइन नहीं हुआ था, सैम मिरिंडा, और उस वक्त पुराना जो सैम हॉपिक था, ये सब वहाँ पे लोग जाते थे.
आपने कभी कुछ भी अनयूजुअल देखा, कुछ ऐसा देखा, कभी टेंशन था सुशांत के माइंड में या कोई डिप्रेस लगते थे आपको?
मैम आवाज नहीं आ रहा है मैम, आप जो
आपको सुशांत सर कभी भी डिप्रेस्ड लगे?
उस वक्त तो मैम डिप्रेस तो कुछ आप जब वो फरवरी मंथ में आए थे 2000 मतलब 20 में, फरवरी मंथ में लास्ट मंथ आए तो उस वक्त बीमार थे, लेकिन उस वक्त में ऐसा डिप्रेस नहीं लगे कुछ।
बीमार में क्या था उनको? फीवर था?
हाँ कुछ बुखार जैसा था,
लेकिन डिप्रेस नहीं थे?
डिप्रेस नहीं थे। जैसा जो पहले जैसा वो पिकनिक वगैरह जैसा बोटिंग करना और जैसा खेल कूद करते थे और वहाँ पे जो पूल टेबल वगैरह जो खेलते थे और बोटिंग पे जाना, आइलैंड पे बोटिंग करना, आइलैंड पे जाना और वहाँ पे कुछ एयरगन जो गन है उनके वो जैसे निशानेबाजी करना और एरो से जो मतलब वो हर चीज जो पहले से करे तो कंटिन्यू था उनका।
किसी से कोई टेंशन में नहीं, कोई लड़ाई नहीं, कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था?
नहीं ऐसा लड़ाई झगड़ा कभी देखा नहीं मैंने।
आपको कभी कुछ बोलते थे?
हाँ जी।
आपको कुछ बोला उन्होंने?
वो जब भी फार्म हाउस आते थे तो पहले जैसा एंट्री होता था, जब भी मैं वही मिलता था तो हमेशा मैं नमस्ते करता था या गुड मॉर्निंग, जैसा मॉर्निंग में तो गुड मॉर्निंग करता था। तो पूछते थे रईस भाई कैसे हो, तबियत ठीक है ना? बढ़िया। बोला सर आपकी तबियत बस पूछ में। और जाता कभी बातचीत मतलब ऐसा बातचीत कभी हुआ नहीं मेरा उनके साथ में, क्योंकि हम लोग अपना काम से मतलब था। और वो जो उन लोग जो आते थे तो वो उन लोग उनके इसमें मतलब जो उनका जो ग्रुप रहता था उनमें बिजी रहते थे हमेशा, तो कोई हम लोग वहाँ डिस्टर्ब करने नहीं जाते थे उनको।
Okay, Ganesh Hivarkar, choreographer, also joining us.
I mean, there
was
seem
nothing
to be
strange.
a person on strong medication, depressed, insular. He's doing exactly what he always did, and this is
and he says he was unwell, had some temperature,
February,
but
March.
even then he
he
wasn't
continued with
depressed.
his routine. Went out at 8 in the morning to the island that they're talking about. Did boating, came back in the evening. So. There was no real tension between the couple, and that's the video we also released some time back of them running around in the yard in the farm compound. So this is intriguing, very intriguing. Let's go across to Ganesh Hivarkar, choreographer. Ganesh ji, आपका काफ़ी उनके साथ बॉन्ड था सुशांत सिंह राजपूत के साथ, बताइए थोड़ा बहुत उसके बारे में, और क्या आपको लगा कि सुशांत जी बदल गए हैं, अचानक से अजब और गरीब चीजें बोलने लग गए हैं? बताइए।
Never. He joined my dance classes. When he came in Mumbai on the second day, he joined my dance classes. From that day, I see the conversation with 2019 September when Chichure was released. But I see that Sushant was continually growing up his mind. He's continually उसका इतना ज्यादा पॉजिटिव हो रहा था वो, और when the धोनी फिल्म रिलीज आई वाज फीलिंग वो हॉलीवुड वगैरह भी अचीव कर लेता, वो इतना पॉजिटिव था हर चीज में. इट्स नॉट अबाउट ओनली द फिल्म एंड करियर, इट्स अबाउट द एवरीथिंग ही मेंटेन.
आपने हमें बताया है कि उनको आपको भी थ्रेट मिला है, वो थ्रेट के बारे में थोड़ा बताइए.
जी. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई टेल यू अबाउट द वो थ्रेट्स के लोगों को मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ कि आई एम अ वेरी मैच्योर्ड एंड स्ट्रांग माइंडेड पर्सन. सो सोशल मीडिया एंड मैसेजेस इट्स वेरी आप जो कर रहे हो ना, ये आपकी मेंटेलिटी बताते हैं, तो उससे मुझे तो बिल्कुल भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आई हैव अ टीम दैट मैनेजिंग दिस थिंग, तो उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. सो लेकिन बट आई एम नॉट रिप्लाइंग ऑन दैट. सो ऑन द 5th of this month there are 7 to 8 people coming on my door with the iron rod and they're wearing some mask.
Wow.
Have you complained to the police? Yeah, that's why I tell you, I have the 3 police recording. I am in my house, so how can I go outside if the people are in my door? So मैं एक नॉर्मल आदमी यही करेगा, 100 पे कॉल करेगा, राइट?
जी.
तो आपने कॉल किया पुलिस को?
या मैंने 3 बार कॉल किया. फर्स्ट मैंने कॉल किया, मैंने कहा मैंने सबसे पहले यही कहा, मैंने सुशांत सिंह राजपूत से रिलेटेड इंटरव्यू दिया है, उसी से रिलेटेड वो लोग बाहर चिल्ला रहे हैं, सो मैं क्या करूं? दे कट माय फोन फर्स्ट टाइम. Second time I called them 100 number पे. I have the recording, I have proof. Second time मैंने कॉल किया, उनको बताया कि ऐसे मैंने वापस ऐसा इंटरव्यू दिया है, इसकी वजह से वो आगे बात कर रहे हैं. तो उन्होंने कहा पुलिस स्टेशन में जाके एफआईआर करो. How can I go on police station when the people want to kill me and they are outside my home? How can I say? मैंने उनको कहा ये बात, तो उन्होंने फोन कट कर दिया. तीसरी बार मैंने कॉल किया, जब मैंने नाम नहीं लिया सुशांत का, तो वो बोल रहे हाँ ठीक है देखते हैं हम आएंगे. फिर भी वो 1.5 घंटे तक नहीं आए. लास्ट कॉल वन चैनल रिपोर्टर एंड टेक इट ऑन लाइव नाउ. तो मैंने उनको कहा मैं अभी लाइव आने वाला हूँ और अभी दरवाजा खोलूंगा और मैं लाइव आऊंगा चैनल पे. तो विद इन 3 minutes दे गॉन. सो नेक्स्ट डे हाउ कैन आई कंप्लेन टू मुंबई पुलिस? मैं कैसे जाऊं मुंबई पुलिस के पास? कैसे भरोसा करूं उनके ऊपर?
I mean, this is shocking. This is really shocking, Rahul, because 2 calls to Mumbai police when Sushant's name was taken, nobody wanted to come. It's only when he did not take Sushant's name and when he threatened that he would come on live television, that in 3 minutes the police appeared at his doorstep. Now if this doesn't prove the complicity, I don't know what will.
Well, look, I mean, as I'm saying, Navika, these testimonies are obviously extremely worrying because there is a massive campaign. There's a public movement. Times Now has been part of this campaign and this public movement, but someone is trying their level best to suppress the voices, the cries for justice, and it is becoming almost a template in this case. So you've had first a cover-up and now a botch-up. So you just look at the trajectory, the arc. Now, you can put this down to negligence on the part of the police, but when several of these new revelations come up on a daily basis, you begin to wonder if there's a pattern. If there's a pattern, and there are many people who've been saying that there is a pattern, I'm no one to judge, but I think the time really has come for the courts to very quickly look at this issue, dispassionately look at this issue, because, Navika, there is quite clearly glaring loopholes in the manner in which this
it's a botch-up,
case
it's
is
a
being
cover-up, and now a sabotage which is on in this entire case, which is why voices
the videos are proving. Look at those videos. Let's put out those videos. There are individuals who are walking out with a bag from the crime scene. And we are calling it a crime scene and no one checks them.
Nobody checks them.
I mean, look at that. There's a man in a black t-shirt with a black bag.
Which is why the voices of the public going up and asking for...
Navika, just look at these pictures.
Absolutely.
There he is, and now he goes past, man with black bag, slips past the police. He's in the room. And he slips past, no questions asked. Then the man in the black t-shirt escorts SSR's body. Who is this person? No one knows.
Least of all the police.
Least of all the police. The police is walking along. Then
the mystery woman in that striped t-shirt
who enters the building, at least tries to enter the building and gets past apparently some of the guards there. Then she is seen talking to the police as well as the man in the black t-shirt. So it's all happening. It's all happening there on the ground. Who knows?
Absolutely. And this gives you the indication of a planned. And I'm absolutely deliberately being forced to call this because that is what we see on camera. Those are the facts that we've got, and which is why, as they say, public hai ye sab janti, and the public has raised its voice about an unbiased investigation because this so far is a botch up and a sabotage that we've seen. But before we go, ladies and gentlemen, we take leave from you, I want to put out the soundbite of this mystery healer as well, Mohan Joshi, who till yesterday said he had magic in his hands to treat Sushant Singh Rajput, and he had been approached by Riya Chakrabarti. This is what he has to say, first time on camera. Says he took no money but tried to heal with the magic. Where did the magic vanish? We don't know. But we'll be back on Explosive Exclusive tomorrow with another angle, because this story just keeps opening up newer and newer avenues that we felt should have been investigated but haven't. Listen in to Mohan Joshi.
मेरा एक हाथ मस्तिष्क पे रखता हूँ और एक पीठ पे रखता हूँ और मेरे हाथ से ऊर्जा निकलती है, वो बॉडी को एक्टिवेट करती है। बॉडी में इतनी पात्रता होती है, वो सब बीमारी ठीक कर सकती है, ऐसा मेरा मानना है। और मैं कुछ नहीं करता हूँ, खाली 2 या 4 मिनट मस्तिष्क पे हाथ लगाता हूँ और स्पाइन पर हाथ लगाता हूँ और इच्छा करता हूँ ये आदमी अच्छा हो जाए, बस। शायद मेरे को सुशांत या रिया किसने तो मेरे को ढूंढा गूगल से, क्योंकि मैं तो एडवर्टाइज नहीं करता हूँ कभी। मेरा अभी 38 साल के तजुर्बे प्रैक्टिस में कभी मैं कहाँ भी इश्तिहार दिया नहीं है। लेकिन गूगल में मोहन जोशी जब डालते हैं तो मेरा नाम उपलब्ध होता है। तब शायद 2 में से किसने तो भी वो ढूंढा, लेकिन रिया ने मुझे फ़ोन किया और रिया ने फ़ोन करके